He's a Nobel Peace Prize nominee. He has been working the circuit. He has been getting his message out there. And we're going to have a great conversation. Please bring up Enes Freedom Cantor to the stage.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot?
And a round of applause.
Hit me with your best shot. Light
Come on, man. I appreciate it.
Now, before we get started, I just want to say as well, I want to praise Freedom Fest for their commitment to all sorts of diversity, not just of race, creed, of nationality, but also of height. Take a look at this.
Right?
Look at this. This is what true tolerance looks like, folks.
Yes.
So thank you to the Scousins for that.
One of my friends who was Jewish, she invited me over for a Shabbat dinner. And I immediately said, of course not. I'm not going to come to a Shabbat dinner. And then again, I remember the promise to my mom. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll be there. So before I went to her house, I actually called one of my Turkish friends who lives in America. I was like, if you don't hear from me for the next 2 hours, call the police. Because I just didn't know what to expect. Anyway, so I went to her house. It was unbelievable. The food was amazing. Some of the dances that they do, it's like the same thing. Some of the music and every culture was so similar. Then I was going back to my place after the dinner. I started to think, I'm like, there are millions of kids in Middle East growing up anti-Semitic, anti-American, anti-Christian, just because of the politicians, you know? And I was like, we gotta do something about it. I remember my first practice with my teammates. Two of my teammates who were American and Christian wanted to talk to me. I got so nervous, I turned around and left the locker because I didn't know what they were going to try to say. And then I remembered the promise to my mom. I turned around and started talking to them, and they're like, well, you came from Turkey. If you want to go to a mosque, we know that you're Muslim. If you want to go get some halal food, we can take you to some restaurants. And I was like, that's interesting, you know?